Okay, so hey guys, so I said that I would be making a new video today. Well, here I am. I'm actually, you know, staying true to my promise. But yeah, this is a video I needed to make for a long while now. Probably about a month in the making now, since um, the whole thing going on with the Black Lives Matter, and the protests that are happening, and the Washington football team having to take their name down. Of course, I'm not gonna use the old name that they had. Um, so now they're just called the Washington football team until they get the new name. Who knows when that'll happen? You know, but then people kind of they come to the point of, okay, um, so we have the Washington football team, and we have the Cleveland Indians with Chief Wahoo and stuff like that taken down and just replaced with that C. I can't see. There we go. Can't really do it on camera. It's kind of a little awkward for me, but yeah. So then they kind of go to, well, what about the Chicago Blackhawks in the NHL? Is that a racist name, and is that a racist logo? Well, I shouldn't say racist, but I mean that's probably what I'm gonna put in the title anyways. So, is the Chicago Blackhawks name and logo racist? Is it considered racist? So, of course, since I'm a Blackhawks fan, I do have a few props with me here. So this is now I don't have the most recent Winter Classic that they were in a couple years ago, but I had the next best thing. This is the 1930s throwback that they had for the 2009 Winter Classic, and as you can see, it's a very crudely drawn Native American head right here. And I'm getting a couple snags here, so I'm gonna have to go ahead and clip those off. But I've had this for a couple years now, and yeah. So yeah, the it's a very crude. It's I don't know if this is actually true to the original logo, um, because this is a reproduction. This isn't actually from like the 1930s. This is a reproduction for the Winter Classic, and yeah. So I mean, looking at this, you can kind of say, okay, that's kind of like that's kind of caricature-ish, because it's not like it's a very crudely drawn head. But I mean, again, like they didn't put that much effort into it, so it's just like they could have done a lot more work with it. So when they redesigned their jerseys in the 50s, instead of this like barber pole sort of pattern, they went to an all red jersey. So then they kind of drew it a little bit better. It's a better, well drawn head, and all that stuff. So this is the logo that they used like in the 50s and the 60s. As you can see, they have the traditional feathers now, the red, the green, yellow, and orange. I swear I'm not colorblind. But well, traditional as in like the regular Blackhawks logo. So just drawn a little bit better, but you can still kind of see it's kind of just something's kind of off about it. So that's all right. It's a lot better. So, and then after that, they then drew it even better for like the 70s, and it's been the logo to this day. So that's what it is. Well, I mean, there's a difference. Basically, back when they first had it, they used to have a tan outline around the not a really big one, just a very very small tan outline across the entire logo. And then in the late 90s, they dropped that, and this is how it's been. But as in general, this is how it's looked, the whole time, and it looks pretty good. And there's no like, again, like people will try to be like, yeah, but this is a historical figure or whatever. I forgot what the exact term I was gonna say, but people kind of look at this and be like, it's still a native, figure and stuff like that, and we don't want that. But yeah, it's not drawn as caricature-ish as like I said, Chief Wahoo of the Cleveland Indians. So yeah, it's actually we're this more than not it kind of honors the figure on it, because it's not like we just you know named our team the Blackhawks because native figure. We named it the or the owner, like the first owner that we had, Frederick McLaughlin. He named it the Blackhawks because it was a world. He was in a World War I machine gun battalion, and that was nicknamed the Black Hawk Division. Um, oh well, he was in the division that was named that nickname was the Black Hawk Division, and Black Hawk is actually a very prominent figure in Illinois history because he was around what is present day Illinois. So yeah, I don't know. Like people will just like I'm making this video today because apparently this hasn't been confirmed, but I have a few friends on Discord that said that there's going to be protests outside the United Center about the Blackhawks name and all that stuff and how they're keeping it and that they're not changing it and all that stupid stuff. To me, I don't understand why. I mean, because honestly, we've done the most work concerning native people and native historical figures and native history. We've done the most to educate people on that. We've donated millions of dollars to native charities and stuff like that. We even have native people that actually say, hey, thank you for not changing the name. We love the name. Keep doing what you're doing. I'm not making this up. If you go on their Facebook page and if you go on their All for One, the Chicago Blackhawks All for One thing, you'll see in the comments below there are people dressed up in full on gear and stuff like that, like native gear, in their native outfit with all those feathers and stuff like that, and like headdresses, and they're just like, yeah, I'm a big fan of the Chicago Blackhawks. I love the way that they portray, I love how they portray Black Hawk and stuff like that. Keep doing what you're doing. It's not, racist like, the other teams are, and stuff like that. So, it's honestly I've never seen it as racist. Like that doesn't seem caricaturish. It almost seems like a badge of honor. That's usually what it is. You feel proud to wear this this sweater or this jersey on. You're proud to put it on and represent the Blackhawks. So I don't know, people will always try to start stuff up just for the sake of just starting stuff up. They start flame wars and all that stuff and just create chaos. Honestly, personally, I don't feel anything wrong with it. I mean, people will argue and say, what do you know? You're freaking American. You're whitewashed and stuff like that. I'm an Asian and I live in America. I've experienced racism before, obviously, because I'm Asian. Like anybody that's not white will experience some form of racism. Even white people will experience racism in their own country. It's just, I think racism is a debate that it just will never end. It's never going to end. I would love racism and inequality to end, but unfortunately, as a society and as people, there's always going to be that sort of judgment. There's always going to be that sense of profiling, and unfortunately, it's just never going to go away. Personally, that's what I feel. I'm not trying to say that to be like hateful or anything. I personally wholeheartedly agree that even with all this going on, like racism is just not going to go away unless some miracle happens. Racism is just never going to go away. I don't see it happening. Like stuff like this is always going to happen. It took Washington 80 years to finally change their yeah, they came into the league in 1932, I think, something like that. people. This is not like and for the Washington football team. I almost said their name. For the Washington football team, this is a thing. This isn't something that just happened out of nowhere because of all this, Black Lives Matter movement and stuff like that. People have been asking Washington to change their name for decades now. It's been forever. So, it's I like I'm honestly kind of speechless sometimes about this when I talk about stuff like this. But yeah, I mean, racism is always going to be everywhere. Hate is always going to be there, and we can try all we want to get rid of it and stuff like that, and just achieve peace in the world. It's never going to happen. It's unfortunately there's way too many people. There's way too many opinions floating around, and there's just too much prejudice. I mean, it's never gonna go away. I mean, we all don't want the same thing, it's tough. So yeah, but anyways, hope you guys enjoyed that video. Again, this is something I needed to make for a long time now, and again, I'm making this video right now because I finally have a reason to make it. And well, I mean, like before when the whole Black Lives Matter movement was going, and they were talking about changing the Blackhawks logo about a month ago, I would have made a video then. But again, I've been suffering from mental issues and stuff like that, mental problems, mental health problems, all that stuff. It's no motivation to do anything. So hopefully this will get me back on track into making videos and stuff like that, because I really do enjoy making videos. And plus, I don't really care if people don't watch them. I just make them because it's fun to just turn the camera on and just talk for a little while, because it's something nice to do to just pass the time whenever I have nothing to do. It's just a hobby. So yeah, but yeah, again, I'm making this video right now today because apparently there's going to be a protest outside the United Center about no native figures being used as being used in sports. Now, I will say this: there's that bird logo that was teased as like the Blackhawks' new logo and stuff if they needed to change their logo, and it looked pretty cool. I think it was from Aesthetics or something like that. And personally, it's okay. It's not bad, but personally, I would rather like to see the Tomahawks as the main logo. If they needed to retire this logo, just make this the primary logo. Like, I would have no problem. I would personally enjoy that a lot more. Now, of course, the Tomahawks have changed over the years. Back in the 50s, it was this. Actually, back then, they didn't have any. So, yeah, but back then it looked like this. And they actually added it on this. Because there were no shoulder patches in the 30s. But this is basically our current shoulder patch logo. That it's just all red to match the jersey color. And I know it looks white on camera. It is actually tan. Not a lot of people know this, but it is actually tan. I think white would look pretty good, but tan doesn't look too bad. It's like that cream color, that like old-fashioned cream color. I really like that. So yeah. But anyways, without making this video any longer than it needs to be, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and until next time, I'll see you guys later.